What's Cookdeer doing here? Bladebreaker, Rock Cleaver, and Sevedeer. Okay, so Cookdeer is trying to push down into these guys. I thought they might have been trying to attack into Marhold as well. It's like, no, dwarves! The great betrayal! Don't do it! They didn't. It's fine. So I wonder if they are now going to call in the Phoenix Empire. The Phoenix Empire is still going to be content to just be offering moral support. I wonder if Sinvar is getting subsidies. They are not. Are these guys getting subsidies? 5 ducats from the small country. So the halflings are trying to bolster Marhold at the moment, which they're going to need because they're currently hemorrhaging money. And Danica, who I can never bleed and find. There you are. Also losing a little bit of money, and also with a subsidy from small countries. So small country is currently subsidizing these guys against Sinvar for 10 ducats a month. Small country, of course, being like the wealthiest in the entire game. So they can definitely afford these outlays. And I think it is in their interest to support them in this way. Unfortunately, the ledger is disabled, and even I can't see it as an observer. But I'm fairly confident that they are the wealthiest, earning already 100 ducats a month in income. Is Miltech the same? That is something I shall need to check. Oh, and we've also got small country Condottieri hired by Adenica coming in as well with a level 6 maneuver general. Nice. What was I checking? Miltech. So Marhold has Tech 10. Adenica has Tech 9, although Adenica is suffering a couple of rebel problems. And then Sinvar is Tech 9. So actually Marhold is a tech ahead. I don't know how big a technology that is, though. Oh, no, it's a pretty big one. It comes with new cavalry types. And we have another battle. Adenica and Marhold being a little bit slow to respond to this one. Adenica being caught on their own. 4.7 morale against 4.1. 110 discipline versus 100. And because Adenica's allies were way too slow to answer the call there, although they did just take back Medley, so that might have been what they were waiting for. But Adenica, they're sent with their tail between their hoofs. Halfling mercenaries. I mean, don't sniff at that. Halfling mercenaries are very good as cannon fodder and for sieging stuff. So if you're not using... because they generate manpower incredibly quickly. You just let them do the sieging. And in fact, taking back Medley has reclaimed all of these territories. And now the Wood Elves are going to have to go in and take all the attrition for taking this again. And they're going to have to take Medley back. Did they recharge the garrison? They didn't. They probably should have. Because the Wood Elves can now move in pretty quickly and just immediately stomp it and take it back. The question is, will they? Yes, they will. See, that's something that Halflings could have done. I don't know about you guys, but my inner Northern European likes to see the elves get smacked. But we are seeing Marhold's forces moving around with Hammerhome, who are actually attaching to them now. Is Hammerhome a vassal? No, just an ally. But now they're actually listening to the combat orders. That is a flatland battle. They're going to try to tie up the 60,000, although the 60,000 are not falling for it. But this is going to be another fight. No terrain bonuses this time. Marhold with a negative. Oh no! They have too many cavalry to the infantry at the moment. And they're going to be taking the penalty because of that. That, I think, has probably recalculated. No, they still have a negative. Army's cavalry ratio is 26%. The cavalry to ratio is above 70. Why is that still a problem? Oh, they're not actually taking the penalty. That's weird. But this is, once again, Sinvar taking huge amounts of casualties, and actually Marhold and friends having more troops present this time around, and Sinvar once again sent packing. The real question is whether Marhold and Adenica can maintain the losses, though. 83,000 losses to 167,000. And it does look like they are going to try to retake this fort. They do have a level 8 siege commander in Tormak the First. Now here's a question. How old is Tormak? He's 57. He's still got a couple of years under his belt probably. 49%. They're going to take this fort back incredibly quickly. Hammerholm being there, Marhold being there, and the small country being there, providing the extra infantry. And this also means that Medellay is going to be able to recover their garrison, which is going to be oh so important for them. I'm guessing they're running the defensiveness edict. They are indeed. The thing I'm concerned about for Marhold is money. Although so far they've only taken 2 loans, so they might be getting gifts from somebody else. And there we go. Nymphlea has been retaken. They're making very good use of their excellent siege commanders. And Sinvar sent packing once again. The objective from this war is to take Hornwood, which right now they control. But whoever holds Nymphlea can basically take Hornwood. And the fort is in fact taking it back right now. And that is going to shift the war score to Marhold's favour. +6. So Sinvar just pulled back. They're licking their wounds. They're recovering their troops. They've got 17,000 troops still to recover. 21,000 left in the bank. They are probably going to start needing to think about tanking some of their army professionalism and maybe bringing mercenaries in. So Sinvar, are you getting money from anyone yet? No. But you do have a large chunk of cash there. So I'm wondering if somebody is in fact supporting you, Phoenix Empire, considering that. And actually Phoenix Empire is wealthier than Small Country. Not by a huge amount, but their surplus is way higher. Just double checking the player wars, nothing as yet. Marhold now losing far less. Their subsidies have gone up dramatically from the small country. Adenica still earning the same amount. The small country is heavily financing this. The small country has seen the threat of Sinvar, probably because the player of the small country, I believe, if I have this right. No, that's professional street marker. Never mind. I was going to say was the guy that was playing as the little country over here, but they're not. What were they called? They weren't small country, there was something else. I don't remember. Meanwhile, I want to take a quick look over at the Command War. It looks like this fight is over. The Command have actually managed to retain a sizable chunk of their lands. Guessing that these guys are... No, they're not actually vassals. So I think they were forced to release Thunderfist and Bloodsong, which Rahan can probably come in and gobble up pretty quickly. But the Command's now being given the opportunity to replenish their forces, replenish their money stocks, and Rahan is going to go back to infighting. And in fact, that is some incredible generals. 2-6-6-2 and a 5-4-5-1. I mean, this is the advantage of Rahan, is they are constantly at war. So their professionalism is probably, 84%. Going down pretty quickly, but that's going to... Wow, 21% morale from that. Crikey. I forget how good army tradition is. I usually focus professionalism, but maybe I shouldn't. What's the empty-looking province in the middle of the deep woods? So I don't know if this has been implemented yet, but apparently that's a teleporter to there. Vanara is basically Prussia. Seems to be. Let's take a look at their ideas real quick. They have morale of armies and land leader shock, so their generals are going to be better. They do have a capstone, which is yearly army tradition decay reduction, which is good. Shock damage plus 20%, which goes very well with the land leader shock. Infantry combat plus 15. Monarch military skill plus 1. Infantry cost minus 10. National manpower plus 15. Harsh treatment minus 20. And then fire damage received minus 10. So, yes. They're pretty good at fighting. Meanwhile, Bjornrik is coming after Gawad, and this is something that these guys should be very concerned about. Bjornrik is already a very, very powerful nation, and if they take too much of Goward and basically deny it from these, that's going to really affect them later on. Like, I wouldn't say that Bjornrik is as dangerous as some of the other nations around. They're just in a difficult place to hit back against. Meanwhile, this war continues to just tick by. War score is now ticking in Marhold's favour. I'm guessing that Sinvar is just sitting back, licking their wounds, and preparing their armies for the march once again, and they are in fact doing just that. Looks like the cannon dwarves have another hold. Do they? Yes, they do actually. They have gone for Grozumdir. And they've done it by going through the caverns. That's an interesting path. I would definitely be focusing on getting the roads first. They're so much more valuable. And easier to colonize. Blade Breaker is fighting against Krugdir. Thieving Arrows, what are you guys doing? You are currently fighting against Ard Ordstan, which is these guys. These are the Diamond Dwarves, who have grown quite a lot. They still only have the one... Nope, they have two holds as well. They have Shaztundir. Whereas the Thieving Arrows don't. Thieving Arrows are currently sieging. In fact... Oh no, that's Arg Ordstan. So they're currently going through the caverns trying to take that. Looks like Thieving Arrow is going straight for the hold to try and siege down the capital. Oh, we have another battle. This is 70,000 against 70,000. We do still have a couple of reinforcements from both sides. 4.7 morale from the Marhold side against 4.1. 100% discipline against 115. The tactics, however, is currently on Sinvar's side. But the damage being dealt is just overwhelming. But this time Sinvar does manage to turn the tide, and it is Marhold and Adenica that are sent packing this time around. 40,000 manpower lost, which they will now need to recover. 124,000 losses against 215,000. I'm not sure that these guys can maintain this rate of losses. Although the fact that Sinvar is going to have to siege everything down again is going to be a good thing for these guys. Oh no, they don't have the defense edict. Oh no, guys, turn it on. They're going to take this siege a lot quicker now because of that. Oh, they've backed off. Why? Has the garrison recovered? Just out of interest. Yeah, it has. Of course it has. This one, however, hasn't. Not yet. Has somebody else declared war? No. Well, they have a mission complete. What's that for? They could get the River Grove, which will give them base tax production manpower in the River Grove province group, which I'm guessing... must be a regional thing. Geographical regions. Deep Woods. Nope, I don't know where that is. Each of the grove areas has a mission to improve them. Ah, I see. But it is pretty expensive in terms of money and the like. And now these guys have spread themselves out very thinly. They're mostly usually done to recover manpower to their armies as quickly as possible. And Marhold's still doing just fine for manpower. Like, these battles have just been so one-sided against Sinvar. The only question I have is how Sinvar's tactics were so good. Yeah, they've got higher discipline, but not that much. It's only 10%. And yet it was like 1.7 tactics against like 1.1. Sinvar is caught up in terms of mill tech. I wonder if it was Hammer Homes at 9 and Adenika's at 10 as well now. So it is just the dwarves who are again going for the fort. The dwarves have just pieced out. And now it is just Marhold and Adenika. And now we're seeing a more truthful comparison for losses. 86,000 against 218. But the numbers, man, the numbers. 86,000 against 180, 200,000. So 2 to 1. They need to be inflicting 2 to 1 casualties. In fact, they probably need closer to 3 to 1 or even 4 to 1 casualties because of the manpower. Although they've done a really good job at overcoming the manpower situation. And professionalism has indeed been reduced. So it looks like Sinvar is willing to dig deep to try and win this conflict if they can. Interface is displaying discipline based on the insufficient support modifier. Maybe. I still don't quite understand why that was appearing. Because it needs to be 70% or more cavalry to infantry, and they were at like 26%. So I don't know. Tea tastes really good today. Oh, we got some more magic coming in. Doing another ward there, I believe. Preparing for the inevitable attack against Medalay. And they're going to be wanting to upgrade this as soon as they can. When is the next fort upgrade level? Level 14. So, a while. 4 more techs. Making sure they're going around the river to ensure that they don't get the river crossing penalties. But they're going after Meadowlake again, and they're coming in with 60,000 men again. Marhold, meanwhile, spending some money. Marhold actually being positive income. The subsidies from Small Country definitely paying dividends here. And they need the money. They're now at 5 loans. They just took a couple more. Trying to build something up. Cannon. They're trying to get more artillery. Better backline. I'd say it's still a little early for artillery. Chambered demi-cannons are usually when I would start emphasizing their use. But, like, having the backline is always useful. It just does more damage. So that's never a bad thing. Okay, it looks like Marhold and Adenika and the Small Country are once again closing in, preparing for another strike against Medalay. They're going to let the 14% cycle tick over most likely. Oh, but they're going up to the 8,000. They have seen an opportunity. They're going to try and block them. Who's going to get there first? Who's going to have the better maneuver? I bet these guys do. Adenika coming in to assist, and there we go. 60,000 against 40,000. This is the 3-star general, however. 1,500 losses against the 400 during the shock phase. The fire phase is a lot more even, but the shock phase is just so overwhelming. And Adenika hasn't even joined the fight. Adenika actually coming around the back to try and force a secondary battle against the units in Granville. But it does look like Sirenvar is coming in with more troops. Adenika's forces have just joined the battle, letting Marhold do the majority of the fighting, but Marhold's cavalry is that much better. It does look like they're going to lose this fight again, simply because of lack of numbers, but they're doing 2,000 damage per strike. Like, as strong as Sinvar's manpower numbers are, I don't know that they can keep losing this. And, oh man... This is going to come right down to the wire. Can these last Adenican units hold out? And they've won! The battle has been won for Adenika right down to the wire. But that last little tiny reinforcement by the Adenika units turned the tide there. And Medalvar is once again going to start converting all of the provinces around back to their side. That was a big fight. And now losses are 113,000 against 267,000. The poor elves rolled 3 zeros in a row. Wow. So the wolves have the upper hand now, but they're not out of the woods yet. Yes. Yeah, they're definitely being financed by someone. 40,000 men to recruit. They are down to 18% professionalism. And the more they tap the professionalism, the weaker their armies get. Because they're going to lose that incredibly important shock resistance. And the more they lose of the shock damage... Oh no, sorry, it says shock damage increase. What's the reduction? Oh, it's the drilling that's reduction. Right, if I look at someone who I know is drilling... Like I thought you guys were. Who's drilling? You probably are. Nope. Dame's Crown is. Here we go. If I click on your troops, and we can see here. Shock damage received to minus 13%. Okay, so it's drilling that reduces damage taken. Professionalism increases damage done. Sinvar are wood elves. It's a forest. If we flip over to the geographic terrain map mode, you can see the deep woods. How's Yordland doing? Yordland's Lord of the Rings, isn't it? Yeah, they don't exist in this. But the dwarves are over here. They're in the mountains. So if again we switch over to say one of these guys, we can see that the mountains, this is the dwarven realms. Coming up to here. How's the command doing? Recovering their manpower slowly, but I think that's more about building up their numbers. They are going to have a peasants' war because their stability is less than 1. They don't have the admin power to up it. Oh, but yeah, they could. They could avoid the Peasants' War if they wanted to. Hope the Ram Dwarves do well. Unfortunately, the Ram Dwarves are kind of isolated. Have they made any allies yet? Cookdeer. So they're allied to 1 AI, and the Rel Skulkers are just, I would say, neck and a head above where Oslam Azdir are at the moment because they took out Shattered Crown so easily. Well, not easily, it was a bloody hard fight, but so early. Meanwhile, Crack Dunvor, fully occupying Winged Blade. Winged Blade looking like they were going to be one of the big rivals to Magama, so Magama's probably watching this and just rubbing their hands together going, ho 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 ho! So Sinvar's enthusiasm is now low. Phoenix Empire's enthusiasm is low. My gosh, they have a lot of vassals. That's Phoenix Empire, isn't it? Just noticed they had Jad as a vassal too. If we go to their diplomacy... Oh no, they're not vassals. They're just allies. In fact, they're not even allies. Hang on, what are you? You are a vassal. Your vassals aren't showing in the diplomatic view. Probably because you can see them through the subjects. But there we go. Verkal Gulan, Kograla, Kografa, Jadari, and Greedy Grin. No, it was Phoenix Empire. It's just that it doesn't show vassals in this screen, apparently. Oh. Oh, right, okay. Yep, I see what you're saying. They're the vassals. Well spotted. Oh, who's this? Stalbor. Wait, what? Stalbor, the guys that Sinvar just took 2 territories from, are hiring condottieri to Sinvar. Not to the guys who are defending this region against the elves, no. They have just turned traitor and are now supporting the elves. What? Supporting the elves? Terrible! That's really weird. Like, why? Why you do this? If there's one place I would actually like to see these guys standing, it would be Hornwood. Because you'd be forcing your opponent to have a river crossing, and it would be into the woods. And, just to, you know, make it even more important, it is the war goal. So instead of maybe sitting on top of the fort, which can hold itself, sit on top of Hornwood. And basically be like, come get me. Oh, we got another moving around, coming around through Granville, moving into Medellay once again. Although they might actually... Oh no, they can't, because of the fort... Wait, that's illegal! The fort should block that. What? Stack wipe. What the hell? Sometimes the fort rules in this game make no sense. Absolutely no sense. That was clearly an illegal move. Hashtag forts, yeah. So we've got Sinvar coming in again, 30,000 against 60,000. Marhold with a worse back line. The elves actually having a full back line of artillery, but they are losing so many troops. During the shock phase, we've got Anbennar coming in with a line of reinforcements. They have just arrived. 600 against 300 during the fire phase, but as soon as we get into the shock phase, it is 2,500 against 300. 80,000 Anbennar Marholds against 60,000. We've got 70,000, we've got another 10,000 coming in, so it is going to be roughly 80 against 80. Anbennar with the last ditch effort of 6,000 infantry, just in case they are needed, but this time around, this was an absolute slaughter. And it is going to be Sirenvar who are sent packing with some very, very hefty casualties again. That was a really good battle for Marhold. And it is now 316,000 losses against 134,000. Although Marhold is starting to suffer some more exhaustion because of this conflict. But Sinvar, 5,000 manpower, they need to recruit another 40,000. They are down to 20% professionalism. It has come down by 18% so far. Marhold are human, yes. They have access through red countries in the east. That gives them non-blocked path to their province, but I'm pretty sure they came from Granville. Like, if they came from here and attacked there, I could understand it. That's legit. But Granville, they should not be able to leave this province except for the province they entered from, because it would be blocked by the fort. Why is Sinvar only 115 discipline? Did they go quantity over quality? Yes. Helena, who is the player of Sinvar, is an incredibly meta player and has gone quantity economic. So at the moment, her armies are kind of rubbish. There's just a lot of them. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Whereas Marhold and Anbennar have gone quality. So this is your classic quality versus quantity conflict at the moment. And it is quality that's paying through here. I mean, just this whopping 70% cavalry combat ability is kind of insane. It's insane. Oh, they have a mission tree path. Elves. I don't know how the elves work. I don't think they went isolation. I thought they went tolerant.